I need to eventually go through and actually unlock all of those things, because even in the previous regions that I was at, I didn't unlock everything like that. I think I've definitely gotten everything in Leeway. I don't have everything in the Chasm, Inazuma, Sumeru as well. I want to do that eventually, but I don't feel like it right now. All I really want to do is just do more of this. Ooh. There's something to collect over here. Oh my god.
This weather is so amazing. I could burst into song.
Where did it go? The okay. Hang on, I should properly witness this. A fish? I'll buy some fish. Can I buy fish? Oh. Oh! Very good. I'll just get all these. Very good. Oh, that must be... There's a vendor I could buy rainbow roses at somewhere. Very good. Let me just put a marker over here. Put that and then name it shop. Very good. There is a teleport thing. Not here, but further down, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to see where it would be like. So if you were coming here, what would you see? So you'd just be like, I'm just on the beach. Oh, nice little waterfall here, and then you'd be like, oh. Oh. Wet slopes of what? Can you repeat that? I gotta leave it, come back so it comes up again. Well, I guess I just don't know. Wet slopes of something. Oh, I don't know how to fucking pronounce that. This place is delightful. Unlock that teleport. Oh my god, does this just fucking launch you back up? Oh. Ooh, where are we going? Oh. Cute. I like it. I want that viewpoint down there though. I guess that's if you don't feel like taking the ladder, but like you could always just teleport. So I don't know. I'll take that wheat for no reason. Wow, where Dark Tide's echo added to the archive. Ooh. Ooh, hoo, hoo. I like this even more. Hello. God, Fontaine really is the region for me.
Huge ship.
Woo!
Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
Repurposed?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Yeah, me too. Me too, you're Amy.
For it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And
This is
Paimon thought
beautiful.
you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon
How dare! Cat lived in the sewers in Gravity Rush, and her house was charming.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Do your cute little dance, Fireball. Alright, let's go. Wow, wow, wow. Yo, if I was gonna have a headquarters, this is where I would want it to be too. Ooh, more fish? What? Interesting. Well, I can't buy his fish, apparently. What's over there? Whee! How do I... Oh, over here? Okay. Let's go in the big ship. I want to see what this is like. Yeah, I knew I would like Fontaine just because I like being near water and like the nation of water. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna love this. And I didn't expect to love it this much, but holy fuck, this is amazing.
Maloose, we're back.
And that's how you say his name, Maloose and Silver.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners.
Oh, thank you.
You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important.
Mm-hmm.
See, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
It's only been 3 years, I think.
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Drugs!
Wait!
Hell yeah!
That guard guy who turned into water also mentioned that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
I love when my drinks contain drugs. That's the best kind. I want just mix some LSD into your milkshake.
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea.
Where even is this?
If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions.
All right, but theoretically,
And
what if you
were to
didn't
stop
have
drinking
those?
it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything.
Oh,
It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw
wow.
Poisson,
That's not too
my
different
father
from my
was
normal life.
compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he
It's
refused to yield.
he got taken out by the
Not
synth
only
cartel.
that, the boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
It explains why he died.
But the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant.
But like, if they only get the stuff and sell, and they're not, they don't know anything else, they're not going to be able to help you with your investigation because they just won't have the info to tell you. Not like they're not willing to, they just don't know.
The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all.
Oh, he got framed
Back on
real
it, though,
good.
I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
They could have belonged to somebody who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Well, presumably, only one of them has a bullet. It's possible that the other person shot Jacques, and then her dad was like, I'm gonna try and shoot that guy, but before they could shoot him, he dissolved? Or he shot him, and he shot the container that had the seawater in it, and it got on him, and then he dissolved? Possibly that?
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
This is honestly crazy. Because it's like, imagine you get like a Nerf water gun. You get like a Nerf sniper rifle with water, and you just load it with that, and you just fucking dissolve people at a distance. It's crazy. A water gun can become a real gun if you just think about it enough and put the right stuff in it, I guess.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with zero warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth.
Yeah, but if they got dissolved, what are we gonna do about it?
Even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
No.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end?
Ooh.
Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed.
Oof.
Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly?
Oof.
I've never accepted that, ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Oh.
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness.
Oh.
The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict, But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you.
Oh.
Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Oh.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
Mm-hmm.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
Except they have now.
I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
Oh.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight?
No.
No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He wanted to give you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced.
Oh.
Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters.
Let me know where that is and I'll
He was threatening
fucking
the
delete
enemy.
it.
Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
No.
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization.
I swear to
that's been
God,
in
if it's the
operation
fucking
for
Fatui
decades.
again, I'm gonna lose
There's
my
no
mind.
telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture.
Capture all of them and or kill them all.
A visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine Authority?
You don't know how deep this runs. They might have
You saw
informants.
One of them dissolved during Mr. Linney's case. We
Yeah,
have
see?
no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always
okay.
been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
I like that.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Yes.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news.
Have you not narrowed it down after this?
Rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down
Oh,
to
so you
3
have.
people.
Who?
The first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's
Who
someone
else?
like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriere.
What does that?
Uncle Marcel.
Those. Yeah. What is that? What is that?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence.
Okay.
In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
Interesting.
They're
And
like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
if they are, shouldn't they be sharing some sort of resources? It sounds like they got a lot to go around, and you guys don't have any.
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly.
Oh.
To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
What if?
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Sure, why not?
Thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
Yeah, I like
A
Malus.
new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Oh, case records. Ooh. 30 years ago, on a rainy night, banquet goers heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callus had a gun in his hand, and Jacques had been shot and slain. Based on the investigation done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callus was thus adjudged to have been the culprit. Ooh, I want to go in here, though. Me in the ship. This is so nicely decorated. I fucking love this place. Oh, hold on. There's a thing. Up? Or is it under the ship? It might be under the ship. Hmm? 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 I don't see it. I guess it's not down here. It was on top. Fuck. Alright, we're going back. I'm gonna grab that thing because I'm still here. Then I'm gonna run and grab something to drink.
Barbara, go!
I am thirsty. And though it's not going to help me, I want an energy drink. Just because I don't have any juice. I'm all out of Arizona green tea, guys. It's the greatest tragedy. But I can't get more until tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, early morning I will be streaming with Nyan and we'll be doing more It Takes Two. We might be able to stop us from getting a divorce. It all depends on his commitment to going to couples therapy. And that book does not count as couples therapy. Got it. Whee! Whoop! Okay. Where are we going? That's over there? Oh, they're here. They're here. Yeah, let's go with Lenny. Actually, let's sit here and admire the view. I'm not joking when I say this, but Alani News, peach juice. It tastes just like juice, man. It's an energy drink, but it tastes like the juice that you just bit into a peach. It's so good. It's more peach-like than any other peach drink I've had. So very good. I don't know if they do sponsorships, but like that would be cool. Oh, why are those fish looking at me like that? Ugh. Okay, can't buy anything from him either. Alright, whatever. Hello?
It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh, she's got sad eyes. Oh, she angry.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift.
There is
I
nothing.
know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this kid is having none of it.
I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Okay.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Okay.
I'll...
Whoop.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation.
What if the first shot hit?
Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, That doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person.
That is also true. That's valid.
About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
Possible.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
You didn't check to see whose
Yeah,
gun
makes
that
a lot of
was?
sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
No, possibly. I mean, who would
About
believe that, really?
Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed.
It's only been like 3.
But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Okay. I'm on to you.
Intel is just like teachers. You gotta invest in
Ooh.
before you can
Excuse me. Where am I? Back over here, I see. Okay. What that? Oh, it's a world quest. I don't give a shit.
Hey, Thierry! It's me!
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city.
I love that. I respect it.
Anyway, enough chit-chat.
Easy,
Are
but a
these
lot
two
of
friends
money.
yours?
I respect.
You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners.
Yes.
What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Just want to see Lenny again.
I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? Mm-hmm. I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it.
Yeah,
If you
that
want to go
shit's
to the
fucking
original
wild.
Files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you
Damn.
see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
That's a bit, accusatory, Navia. You can't be like that.
You think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units.
How did they have that?
Certainly not cheap. So whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Mm-hmm. Unrelated? I kind of want to do Linny's story mission. Can I? Oh. Is that the one I'm on now? It is. I have to complete this before I could hang out with Linny.
The audience thinks that seeing is believing. There's no limit to the number of tricks I can pull off.
The greatest trick you've done is stealing my heart, Linny. I truly love. Heavy Metal Ed! Hi! What's going on? It feels good to be back. I've had a really, really, really long break. So it feels almost like I'm starting over. Ooh, we'll just take a shortcut. I love how it's like layered like this. This is so nice. Ooh. It's great to see you back at it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna do my best to get back on a regular schedule.
My show mustn't fail.
Oh shit! I got stuck in a cutscene and he fell to his death.
How may I help you?
Oopsie.
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry.
I can't believe that happened. I was literally
Not as
stuck.
young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress.
I
just wanted to talk
Right now
to
we're
you
trying to
briefly
solve
about
a
what happened in the
murder
Opera House.
and a
I'm
drug
sure you saw
cartel.
everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Alright, so this area is called Fontaine. I don't know how much of the story you might know. But this is Fontaine. It is the land of water. And apparently, there's something called the Primordial Sea, which people who are born here, if they get, like, splashed with it or they touch it, they dissolve into water. Which is crazy. And there was already, like, a murder where they attempted to frame my boy Linny, the cutest magician ever, for murder by dissolving somebody. And now we're like, oh, maybe that's related to a different case. And apparently they used that water in a drink that like makes you hallucinate as well. It's like they're giving you drugs. It's drugs. It's the drug trade. And that might be why her father got killed. Not why. It definitely is why her father got killed. They definitely framed him with potentially another person that dissolves like that. Yeah, it's pretty much acid, I think. Dissolves you or it makes you hallucinate. You know, one or the other. And I'm like, dang, the cartels really... they took him out.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
Now we're talking
right.
about people that are
I went there with
potentially
Navia to see the
infiltrators, like
magic
this
show.
one.
Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive.
I always knew Linny was
To
innocent.
beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
As they should.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
You already are, Paimon.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Yeah, there's potentially a third person.
I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
Also, earlier today, my character drank that water. But because we're not from Fontaine, nothing happened. But we grabbed the wrong drink. It was meant for her. So she would have been dissolved and she would have been killed, essentially. So they're already trying to take her out.
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered
Also
guardians.
that.
And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
No, it's time to take them out.
It seems
Time to
things are heating up
nuke
again.
their enemy
The
headquarters.
peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot.
Hell
Do you
yeah.
have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall
I'll
my
take on
memories.
these drug lords. I could easily wipe them.
The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
A? Singular.
It's okay. No need to push yourself.
Singular
We'll
gunshot,
ask
huh?
around some more. See if there are any valuable
There
clues
were
elsewhere.
notably
Sounds good.
two.
Just let me know if you ever need Mora.
Oh no, I'm good. I pretty much guarantee I have way more money than you guys have. I've been playing this game a lot and I've not been spending it on anything.
All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
But yeah, he just said one gunshot. A gunshot. Suspicious? I think so. He's the only one to have said a single one. You'd think he'd remember that there were two. Perfume? Fragrance is no mere scent, it is a lifestyle?
This can work. I'll just treat them as new samples.
Hang on, while I'm here, I see that you guys are... Oop, not that. So you guys are in an ad, so I'm just gonna... Real quick. Okay,
I wonder what my dear sister Lynette is doing right now. Missing me to death, I'm sure.
There we go. There we go. Well, can I not free camera it? What's happening here? Oh, I can. Nope. No, I can't. Oh, why is it going up like that? Okay. Why is it so fucking... having issues with cameras right now. There we go. Beautiful. Ooh, I've accidentally changed where the camera angles. Hang on. There we go. So whatever you're messing around with the camera, wherever you leave it, like distance-wise from your character is where it stays. And I'm like, no, please, I need to, oh, fuck, up there? I don't feel like walking all the way up the stairs like a normal person. We're scaling. I'm just gonna be a fucking menace, scaling walls and shit.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
That last guy was so sus. I don't trust him at all.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
That's because you're dumb, Paimon.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough,
he slipped.
We'll still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day.
Okay.
If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing him? I don't think so. Could he guarantee his family's safety?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
A game theory. Oh, did you guys hear Matt Pat is retiring?
The attack from the Gardamex has been
good for him.
me
Spend
quite a
more
bit
time
as
with your
well.
family, man.
It's obvious that our
It'll be
enemy
sad to
has
see you go,
become
but I
more
understand.
antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
That... You!
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. Still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
I don't trust him. He's sus.
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way
I mean,
to
you
convert the
did go up to
Gardamex
him
for
and be like,
personal
haha,
use.
wouldn't it be funny if you did this?
Didn't
Wouldn't
feel
it be
like
funny?
He was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha.
That was a wild thing to
I also don't
accuse
think he'd be able to
him
keep that
with.
kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Maybe if they weren't taken from the guards, but they were, like, taken from the warehouse, or they were contracted by somebody else and then went missing, or...
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of
I
learning
feel
about
like
his dealings
she's
with
about to be
Jacques.
like, it could be you, but...
As Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think... What do I select? Oh, here. I think it's him. I really do.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
Probably not.
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the 3, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Oh, nobody's gonna talk about how he gave an incorrect testimony just now?
Well,
Noticeably different from the others? Nobody? Also, using your own, like, business to attack your other business is the perfect cover, because everyone would be like, nah, they wouldn't do that. Of course it's the best idea.
Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky, but we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Oh?
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Oh, fuck yeah! He guilty! He's so guilty. Arrest that man. I don't want to see him in the story ever again. I'm so sick of him. He keeps popping up. Go away, child. Go away.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yes, and
I know him. Maybe even a little too well.
I will testify he's guilty.
He's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
Yeah, he's definitely guilty. Not of those, but he's way guilty about other stuff. Not that.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right
I don't
away.
care, lock him up anyway.
If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Fuck, right.
Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence. Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
I'm confident in my combat abilities.
Just as expected of my partner.
I'm gonna run through everybody.
Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver, when did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Irenaeus. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.